Oh yeah, stay tuned for part 2. Kimberly Burgess and the famous questions.
And I do want to touch a little bit on your divine feminine one. I believe this is the age of women once again finding their independence,
Amen.
but staying in their grace and their mystery.
Yes.
Not the WAP, their grace and their mystery. Because your essence of the divine feminine is a gift. It's a gift.
Agree.
Speaking of independence. So we've already covered that she's well set. Tell us about your relationship status, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, I'm single. I've been divorced for 6 years.
And this is so relevant. This is so important. I think women who finally mature enough to realize what they want and what they need in their life may not be what they decided for themselves at 22.
Get ready for the real estate show that takes you across the barriers and into the danger zone. That Bitchin' Real Estate Podcast with your host, Tenacious T.
Correct. Totally different person. You're a completely different person.
Yes.
And I think that was the hardest part for me when I got divorced, because I was married, with the guy for 17 years, married, I think, for 14. So when I got divorced, I thought, I don't even know who the hell I am. Who am I? And I just decided, doesn't matter. I'm going to recreate myself.
Yes.
I'm not the same person.
Yes.
I don't want to be. Why would I want to be that same person?
Yeah. I think a lot of us realize that not only do we change, but sometimes our partners change too.
Oh, for sure. You just grow apart sometimes.
And humans weren't living to 100 years old.
Right.
Many years ago. And so the length of time, I definitely encourage long relationships and monogamy and all that, but people do change. And we shouldn't have to stay in a vibration or an energy that is below where we are stepping up to. If you have to step down in order to make your relationship work with the other person, you're with the wrong person.
So true. So true. And I think that's probably how I was. I mean, to be honest, I wasn't happy with a lot of things in my life at that point. I mean, you don't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to get divorced.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that was the last thing I truly wanted to do, but I wasn't happy at my job. I'm from a town of 6,000 people.
Wow.
Grew up there, had never really left or done anything. And so, I just thought that there's more to it than this. There's more out there in this world. And, my spouse and I just kind of grew apart. And I literally sold everything I owned, packed only my car and my little kitty cat, and decided I'm going to move to LA where I know nobody.
Awesome. I'm going to move to LA.
So
Why LA?
I do have guts. I wanted to live by the ocean.
Okay.
And of course, it seems so glamorous.
Sure.
Until you get there.
And
You're like, oh my God, it's dirty, it's crowded, it's expensive.
We love you, California. We do.
We do
but
love
there's
you.
a reason why we're in Scottsdale.
Yes, we do love you. And I did miss it at first, and I made great friends. So there were a lot of things that I missed.
It was part of your journey.
Yeah, it really was. But then when I came
backpack
here,
in Europe or something, right?
I came through here and I'd never been to Arizona, and I'm thinking, okay, in my mind, I'm thinking Arizona is just this big ugly desert, and I'm like, this is beautiful. Yeah. It's clean. At the time, it was very, very affordable. Now prices are going up, but they're going up everywhere.
Yes. Anyway.
But so this was just very attractive to me. So this is my home.
A lot of people think that it is just a cactus and dirt.
Yes.
And it's not.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Such a beautiful landscape.
Scottsdale is one of the top 10 places in the world to come golfing.
Yes.
Number one. And last I checked, it was up there in the 1 or 2 spots for the most lucrative Airbnbs in the United States.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, because we have 265 days of sun.
And I love it.
And it's even in the hottest part, we can get in the pool. What are you doing?
Yes, I am not going back to shoveling that snow.
No, not at all.
I love you, Colorado, but no.
I want to touch base on a question I asked you about your favorite animal.
Yes.
And you said mountain lion.
Yes.
A mountain lion is fearless and top of the food chain. agile, adaptable in life, and a powerful protector.
Yes.
Those are the spiritual meanings as well. I asked that question because that is how you see yourself.
It's a very strong, strong energy, and you have to be careful with it because you have to be able to be a leader without, you have to do it with grace
Yes.
and strength, but you can't be so aggressive that you insist people follow you.
Right.
So it's, and also it's a very powerful energy because you do have the ability to lead people. A lot of times people's own insecurities, people can be mean.
Yeah. They will fester.
Yes.
We allow, I shouldn't say we, some people allow jealousies, greed, the wanting for the energy and the joy and happiness they see someone else have. There's something in them that wants to chip away at them,
Yep.
again, to bring them back down. And it can fester. It can eat away at you.
Yep.
We're moving away from the glamorous life, the greedy life, the money life, the famous life, and going back to what has meaning for us. And for you, you just want to make people happy. You do.
I really do.
The first time I met you, I think, what was the first time I met you? Was it the Homeowner magazine?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I've been dying. We knew each other through social
Yeah.
media, and I've been dying to meet you. Because I'm just, God, she's so beautiful and
Oh,
sunny.
gosh,
and
thank you.
So I love everything about your energy.
Oh,
and so
thank you.
I loved it.
But when, I've been following you on social media, and I think a lot of us, that is how we
connect.
meet people now.
Right.
I mean, that's just how it is. So when I did get to meet your tiny little self, she's like tiny. I felt it immediately. I was like, oh, she just loves everybody. Where does that come from?
I just always try to be kind
Love that.
because there's been a lot of situations where people haven't been kind to me. So I
Yeah.
just try to, like you said, always give that love back. And don't get me wrong, I have a little bit of a dark side myself, and sometimes I have to
I hope so.
I have to step back and say, okay, now that wasn't very nice. Like, but I'll own it. I mean, I'll own it.
Listen, people talk about good and bad and negativity and positivity and evil and dark.
Right.
And we are unique beings that have been made up from every essence in the universe, which includes the dark side. I mean, Star Wars, come on. What would Star Wars be without the dark side? It is part of who we are.
Right.
And we have to listen to it sometimes so that we know what to do with it.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the dark, there would be no light.
And I don't think I'd be as driven if I didn't have that little bit of dark in me,
Oh, yeah.
honestly.
No, I mean, mine comes out in my reels sometimes.
Right.
So we have a few famous questions.
Okay.
This is the famous questions. I want you to think in the lines of real estate or loan officer. What is your favorite word?
Get the out.
Is this the ones that buy the car 5 days before closing?
Like, get the out of here. Are you kidding me right now?
Right?
And sometimes they can be like in a good way, like get the out, or a bad way, like you got to be kidding me right now. Get the out.
Yeah. Like, get the out of here.
Like,
no.
Are you kidding?
I love that. I love that. That's amazing.
Or maybe I'm reading my underwriter approval and I'm like, get the out. I'm like, what?
Oh God, I love it. That I felt that too.
Right.
That's what I call. Oh God, I have to give.
I'm not doing this.
No. Or how about? I have to give them the come to Jesus now.
Yeah, right.
There's that one.
Like, oh.
So, what is your least favorite word?
Ooh. I'd say no. No is my
Yeah.
least favorite word because sometimes people are just so stubborn and I might need something or I know there's a solution,
Sure.
but they're too dang stubborn to
Open up the door.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Okay.
There shouldn't be any no's.
Yes, in real estate and lending, there should be no's. Okay, we're going to add that to the underwriting clause.
To a reason. But
Yes, I agree. I'm not a big fan of no either. So now I want to take you to, this is a perfect question to ask you right now. You've had a full day of
Yes.
your files and clients and lending. you've had 4 hours of workout, and you maybe get, like, you're looking at probably 3 hours of sleep, and you know you have to get up and start files and whatever, probably another workout at this point. What is your turn on? What helps you open your eyes and get out of bed besides feeding the cat?
Oh, my kitty died too, by the way.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. No, I had him for 20 years. I was blessed to have that little kitty. I got him as a kitten. 20 years.
We're going to segue real quick. So in my training of in-depth channeling at Delphi University, there is I'm just going to say, there's a spirit that comes and speaks to us. And this, I may not even put this in the show. One of the questions one of the students asked was, do cats and dogs have souls?
Oh, they definitely do.
They have a soul.
Oh, my gosh.
And what he said is they remain with you for a little while.
I want to get teared up.
Yeah,
because I kept seeing and hearing my cat for like months. I
feel like she's like right over there right now.
And I thought, am I crazy? Because I know I just saw him and I know I just heard him.
They're there.
It's crazy.
They stay for a while. And when they say a while, Earth has a different time than
right.
They do stay, but they actually do have their own little place. And they will come back.
Well, I always said he was the only man that would stick by my side. So maybe he's still here because he's not. He's
not supervising
my time
you.
Yet. Yes, he's not ready to go because there's nobody new to come in yet.
I'm sure when you're sleeping, he's sitting right here.
Yeah, he was my baby. I loved that kitty, but I'm not quite ready to get another animal yet.
No,
so.
and you'll know. Right. Anyway, sorry.
So
what is your turn on?
Okay, so that's a great question because when someone had mentioned, with the social media posts, like, well, how do you come up with these things every day? And I said, you know what? When I first wake up and I think, how am I feeling today? Whether I'm feeling sad or happy or I'm just motivated to go get after it. I think about, okay, how am I feeling? And because it's not as easy to put it in, into words eloquently.
Sure.
So I'll look up, a motivational post or
I do
quote
that all
or
the
whatever.
time.
Yeah. So
all the
I
time.
go with how I'm feeling. That's what sets my post for the day because those posts are as much for me as they are everybody else.
Yes. Okay. Posts should be for yourself.
Yes.
And if one person, just one, picks up on the same vibe.
Yep. Good.
Fantastic.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Exactly. So what turns me on in the morning, when I get up, I never want to be complacent. And don't get me wrong, we all have our ups and downs. And sometimes I'll start feeling a little bit complacent and I'll say, you know what, pick yourself up and go. So I'll get up, I turn on music. I love to dance. I love to sing.
Oh, I love it.
That's what gets me going.
Yeah.
And I just know because it's only me, I can only count on me, depend on me. I have to go get after it.
Can you imagine if everybody on the planet did that?
Right.
There would be no problems. There would be no anything but joy.
So I think of it as a switch. I have to flip on, and at night, same thing. Like you said, okay, you've gone through your whole day. How do you flip it off? Flipping it off is harder for me. Sometimes I think I have a little bit of ADD.
Because shutting the brain down.
My mind is doing all kinds of things, and I've
melatonin works really well.
But I just have to flip the switch and say, okay, just lay there and try to calm your body and go to sleep. Because especially with what I'm doing now, I have to have rest.
Yeah, for sure.
I have to have rest.
So along the same lines, what is your turn off?
Same thing, just flipping that mental switch. I try to, when I get in bed and lay in bed at night, have to take 10 deep breaths. And then I always play my manifestation meditations at night. I let that play all night.
It's very purposeful in your routine to sleep. And I think that's where a lot of people fall short. Mm-hmm. I'm the same way. I have cards that I pull in the evening.
Oh, I love it.
I pull them in the morning too, but I set my evening with just one card pull and meditation, or I listen to like a philosophical reading. I want my brain to relax, and in order to get it to relax, I have to busy it with something else.
Yes.
Otherwise, if I don't do anything, it's insomnia. Insomnia.
You're thinking about 2,500 different things.
and I will tend to let it play. And sometimes I'll wake up at 2 and YouTube has gone to something else and it's some sort of boogie woogie going on. And I'm like, whoa, whoops. Didn't turn that off. But you are so right. Yeah. If everyone if you're having trouble sleeping, if you're having insomnia, try the routine. It won't work at first.
Right.
You have to make it part of programming your body.
Yeah.
And it knows. It starts to know, okay, this
Definitely.
is it.
And if I'm really having trouble shutting off, a hot bath always helps
Oh,
me. Tea
yes.
and a hot bath before bed, and then doing those meditations.
Yeah.
I'm solid.
Love it. Oh,
I'm
I love
solid.
it. What is your favorite noise or sound?
Ooh. My favorite noise or sound. I love crystal bowls.
Yes, the singing bowls.
Oh.
Yes. Do you have one?
I don't. I do have Reiki ones, so I am in touch
Do you
with
have
the
the little?
spiritual
Do you have
side.
the little bowls?
No, I need to get
so,
one.
little Tibetan bowls are a little less expensive. The crystal ones,
They're
they're
very
harder to play
expensive,
too.
yeah.
They make hand-sized ones. And what's interesting, and I bring this up because I love them too. It's similar to what people don't understand. It's similar to the song of a whale, the song of a dolphin. It has a vibration that carries. I mean, obviously, it sounds a little different, but it seeps into your core and into your kundalini, and helps just energize and balance
all the chakras.
all of the chakras. Yeah. So I have a little one, and I'll go outside. I don't use it all the time. It's fun to see where I can bring the frequency to, because if you go too fast, it skips. If you go too slow, it doesn't do it at all.
Right.
You have to let it sing for you. And that's why they call it singing bowls. So
I love it. No, I love it.
Too.
And because it always gets my heart chakra every time.
You need to get one. I bet you've got a gift in it too. If it calls to you like that, I bet you this time next year you're going to have 6 of them. And
know.
So what is your least favorite noise or sound?
Ooh. Gosh, when those darn landscapers are outside
air
blowing
blowers.
that dang air blower, I'm like, what is this ruckus?
Why? And why does it have to be at 6:15 all the time?
I'm like, come on.
We want to listen to the birds and drink some coffee, and then there's this.
Although I appreciate them.
Yeah, I mean, I like a clean yard.
Yes,
but
yes.
can we do it like at 9?
What is this?
Come back and blow later. So this is one of my favorite questions, and the audience favorite question, and we will bleep it out. What is your favorite swear word?
Oh, it's for sure.
Everybody loves it. Just so universal. You can use it in so many ways. It can be nice. Yeah. Or you can be no.
Right, exactly.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
Yes.
Oh, you bastard. It's just so universal.
Right.
It is. And I agree with you.
I used to really try to watch myself, and now I'm just like, you know what? It's going to come out. I'm sorry if I offend anybody.
But sometimes, like I said, with the come to Jesus, I may have to put in the F word. It's essential. It's an essential word.
At work, I love to say it and then toss my pen. That's one of my favorite things. Exactly.
I have been there multiple times. Oh, yes, I have. Okay, this is another fun one. Let's take real estate, banking, and mortgages off the table.
Yep.
If you think back to maybe your teenage years, and maybe even childhood years, if you could do anything profession-wise, what would it have been?
Ooh. Before I wanted to be a teacher, I was gung-ho on being an archaeologist.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that is
I thought it was so
fascinating.
interesting to dig up things and just the history.
I love that.
And I don't know. It just seemed like such an adventure.
So Jurassic Park was big for you.
Yes.
It was for me too.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I mean, I have always wanted to go to Egypt.
Oh, that's on my list.
And be like walking around the pyramid and being like, I found a bone.
Right?
Yes.
It's incredible.
Or antique shops and old rings. And I totally agree with you. I would say, and I'm going to get metaphysical on you again, you have a curiosity for that because you've been there. Mm-hmm. And the desire to bring, it's like taking out an old journal and reading long time ago.
Right.
There's a part of you that remembers back
Some
then.
sort of past life.
And you want to experience that again and discover that again because it's a part of you. I love that. You would have been really sexy, hot, cool archaeologist. My goodness.
I think that I started looking up, like, you know, because
it's never too late.
When they have you do that as a kid, you know, you had that book and you would look it up and then it would say like what the estimated salary was, and I was like, oh dang, that's it. I think it was like $11,000 or something back then.
It was the salary.
Like, it's like, well, I know I'm probably never going to be a doctor or an attorney, but I can't do this.
No, you have to live in a trailer and hope that somebody funds your expedition.
Like, dang.
It's not glamorous glamorous at
Dream
all.
crusher.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So this one, take your time thinking about it. I think it tells a lot about a person. I want you to think about a person, dead or alive, can be even in ancient texts, that you would have dinner with. Who would it be and why?
Oh, man.
Take
that's
your time.
A hard question.
Try to go with the first thing that comes up.
I don't even know if I can think of a particular person, but I would definitely want it to be a strong female. Someone very...
Is there a goddess? Is there a religious?
Oh, wow.
Is there a legend? Is there a superhero?
I'm going to have to go with Cleopatra.
Yeah. Oh, was she not? Okay.
Powerful.
Not just powerful. Oh, God, it's so appropriate for this topic. There has never been a more divine female profile
Right.
in the history of anything.
Right.
Seriously. I mean, you can take Athena, you can take all of them. Cleopatra ruled, but embraced her sexuality.
Right. And honestly, that's something that I'm just coming into because I've been pretty sheltered and closed up my whole life. So literally, I think once I got divorced, I was like, finally said, I don't care what anybody thinks. Like, I should be able to still be sexy and not offend anybody.
Yep.
I can still be pretty, you know. So I'm really trying to embrace my feminine side, which is not always easy.
It's not. And because we feel as an independent woman, and even if you're married, we feel that we have to apologize.
Right.
We have to apologize for being this hot.
Right.
I mean, why? Why? We were built this way. It's in our DNA, and I'm never going to apologize.
Right.
For it feels good.
Yeah.
And yes, we have to have the masculine side that's organized and logical. I know, logic and women, right? But it's the balance and enjoying the expression of that grace and mystery, which she also had. You never knew what that woman was thinking.
Right.
But you always knew that she knew what you were thinking.
Yes.
There's a big difference.
Right.
And she didn't, I mean, I'm just guessing here. Maybe I was there. She never asked anyone their opinion.
Right. She didn't
Nope.
give a...
She ruled her world and, you know, she made the decisions. And she was very powerful, especially for back then. I love that image for you.
Yeah.
Great. How can people get a hold of you? Where do they go to find your information? What is your, hashtags?
Yep. You can go to themortgagebuffs.com.
The Mortgage Buffs. And that'll be floating when I edit. It'll float in the video.
Cool.
So.
Yep.
And what about your Instagram handle?
It's Lil Miss Fitness and Finance. LIL.
Lil Miss Fitness and Finance. And as far as being able to apply for mortgage loans, anything like that, they'll just go to your website and, okay, fantastic.
Yep. So you can just go right to my website. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, email me, and then I'm always available to meet in person or do phone application over the phone. I never just like to say, just go to my website.
Yes.
I'm always here and available to help.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank
I had
you.
such a good time.
I did too.
You're so
amazing.
sweet. You're so
Thank you.
sweet. This is Kimberly Toko, Tenacious T.